Hello, and welcome to episode 143 of Design Curious Podcast. I'm your host and mentor, Rebecca Ward. Today on the podcast, we'll be talking about the fact that oftentimes we wait to do things in life until someone gives us permission. But we're going to talk why you shouldn't do that and why you have permission. If you are still waiting, despite our conversation, for permission, I am now giving you permission to move forward in your career. So we'll get into all that fun details in the episode. And right now, the doors are open for Launch Your Business Bootcamp. I would love to see you in there. We're going to start our group calls in July. But right now, you can get there and do the pre-work and explore my design mentor, which comes along with that program. So check out Launch Your Business Bootcamp. And now let's talk about permission to start. You're now listening to Design Curious, a place where you, creative one, are here to learn about what it really is like to be an interior designer. And I'm your host and mentor, Rebecca Ward. If you're worried about how to succeed in a creative career, if you're ready to learn your next steps to become an interior designer, and if you want the satisfaction of doing something you love every day, you are in the right place. Grab a coffee, a notebook, and let's dig into today's episode. As a designer, I spend a lot of time in my car going from job site to consultation, and I like to listen to a lot of podcasts in the car. Obviously, I'm a podcast fan, and I love doing podcasts and recording them for you, but I'm also an avid podcast listener. A lot of them are business related or self-improvement, interior design on some of them. Anyway, sometimes it gets me thinking. I might not even actually be listening, but it kind of sets me off thinking onto my own thoughts and reflecting. And one of the things that came up the other day was that I realized a lot of my career, before I sought out coaching and systems and everything, I was waiting for permission to do things. I didn't feel confident in the fact that I could call myself an interior designer. I didn't feel confident charging for what I didn't know I should charge for. And I was waiting for permission for someone to tell me what to do. I didn't have that available to me. Things are a lot different now. There are so many design coaches and mentors, including yours truly, out there who is now able to tell you, you have permission to do things in your business, permission to get a line of credit, to get funding for your business, permission to start your business. And so that's what I want to talk about, is that you have permission to become an interior designer. A lot of common mindset blocks are, I don't know enough, I might need another course or certification, I might need to go back to school. What if I mess up? What if I sound like I don't know what I'm talking about? What if I don't have any ideas when someone asks me for ideas? What if I can't be as creative as the next designer? A lot of this is coming from comparison, and social media doesn't help with that, where we're seeing other designers' creations and final projects and all the pretty pictures. It can be pretty intimidating when you're starting out and coming from zero to get to that point of having a magazine-ready, finished project. That's why I'm here. First of all, we have to start with, you have permission to become an interior designer. Expertise doesn't come before you start. It comes from starting. You have to get experience in order to get expertise, right? One of my coaches always said that a great comeback line to a client who might be pushing back on a project is, based on my experience, I believe such and such is the right choice for your design. And if you don't have any experience, it's a little bit hard to say that, right? You become an expert by having experience, but you have to start somewhere. So let's get you started. You right now might be afraid to become an interior designer because even though people are telling you you might have talent, you have an eye for design, you don't have the confidence. So what does matter when you think that you might be ready, but you're not sure? You're waiting for someone to tell you that you're ready. Well, here I'm going to tell you that you're ready if you have a natural talent or eye for design. You're drawn to beautiful spaces and beautiful things. Maybe you can walk into a room and identify a pain point that's obvious in that room. Maybe you are already thinking about a way to rearrange the room for better flow. You've helped family or friends create mood boards or inspiration boards when they're buying a new place or need to redo their bedroom. You're like, sure, I'll put a color palette together for you. You might be ready to start being a designer if you're willing to learn and improve and willing to go forward even though you're afraid to fall on your face. It takes bravery and vulnerability to put yourself out there as a designer, as a creative in general. Creativity is such a unique service. It is very personal and it is subjective because beauty is always in the eye of the beholder. And a lot of times designers are able to create something beautiful that many people think is beautiful. But it is from a place of vulnerability because it's something that you created and envisioned within and you're making it external. Are you dreaming of launching your own interior design business but feeling totally overwhelmed by where to start? I get it. There's so much to figure out. Business structure, branding, contracts, clients. It's enough to stop you before you even begin. That's why I created Launch Your Business Bootcamp, an 8-week course designed to take you from confused to confident. Each week, I guide you step by step through setting up your business, building your brand, creating your client process, and launching with clarity and support. I'm holding your hand the entire way. You don't have to figure this out alone. If you're ready to finally turn your passion into real, profitable business, join me and a group of like-minded creatives in the next session this summer. Spots are limited, so sign up now at rwarddesign.com/Launch Your Business Bootcamp. Your business won't launch itself, so let's do this together. So let's go back to the point of where you have to start somewhere. And I went the traditional route, but I know a lot of people, and I've talked to a lot of people, and you've heard a lot of testimonies on this podcast of people who just started. It takes guts, and you can be one of those people. Just get started. Here's an affirmation for you. I don't need a license to believe in myself. This is saying that you have to have your own back. If you're going to be out there, be vulnerable, be willing to fail and learn from it and pick yourself up, that you have to believe in yourself, that you can be better, do better the next time around. You might not get it perfect for this first client that you have, or the second, or the third, but you're learning with each one. And as you go along, you are becoming an expert. Maybe you're waiting for permission to change your niche. We've talked about how niching down can help your business. And maybe you picked a niche that was nurseries. But now you're really drawn towards sustainable design. And you might be thinking, I've already told all these people that I'm a nursery designer. How can I change it now? Or I'm scared to change it because I might lose my audience. You have permission to pivot and you're allowed to grow in your design career. Doesn't exclude all that experience that you got from being a nursery designer. You can bring all of that experience forward into doing sustainable design. And you can do sustainable nurseries. You can liaise it into something new. So don't be afraid of changing or pivoting or how that perception is. When done in proper fashion, it can all come together to show that you are actually even more experienced because you have a couple different specialties. You also have permission to say no. Starting out, you might be tempted to take every opportunity that comes along. But you might come across a client who really doesn't treat you well or who doesn't value what you bring to the table. You have permission to say no to that client. You might be thinking, oh, I'll never get another client or I'll never get a referral. But that's okay. You can still say no. And they are maybe asking for more than what you agreed to. There's project scope creep. And scope creep is okay. I actually like scope creep. You just have to make sure your contract's set up to allow for it. So you have permission to add on to your projects if you want to. And if you don't want to, like say you're doing the interiors and then they ask you to do their living space outside, but you're really not comfortable, you can say no. Or you can also have permission to say yes and learn about it as you are doing it. You don't have to know everything. You just need to know who to ask. So you have permission to set boundaries, but you also have permission to say yes to something that sounds exciting and aligned with where your goals are taking you. You can be an interior designer starting today. I give you permission. What are some other areas that maybe you're waiting for permission in? Maybe you don't know anybody who is a business owner or has started their business, and you don't think that that is even an option for you. Here are some simple things you can do this week to start. Reach out to someone and offer free or maybe a low-cost consultation to them. Maybe it's your neighbor. Maybe it's your family or friends. Just get started and say, hey, I'm trying a new thing. Can I come over for an hour and just give you ideas? You can post a photo of some design piece that you've worked on at home onto your social media and say, I'm starting a new business. You'll see how supportive people can be. Or you can write why you want to design for others. Put out your why. I've always recommended the book Start With Why, Simon Sinek. Your why is going to motivate people and attract people to hire you and to seek you out as the expert of designer. Your why is maybe to encourage people's places of living who are aging, making sure they can age safely and comfortably. Maybe your why is so that moms can create calm amidst the chaos or create spaces for each child that they have. Maybe your why is for bringing a more eco-conscious and sustainable design to the world and helping the home industry really excel in bringing products to the home that are non-toxic. So whatever your why is, you could put it out there and start getting response from people. Start curating your people, your crowd, and then they will start listening to you. It's actually not that hard to get started, but it also is one of the hardest things is to actually start. It's enough to say that you're going to do it someday, but then to actually do it today is a big step. It's a hurdle that you can get over. You can start today, and I give you permission. Doing something and having it done is better than having it perfect, right? Clarity comes from doing the thing. So start doing it today. We only have one life to live. Time is limited, and that definitely comes into focus when we have health scares or people in our life that have health issues, and you realize that time is one of our most valuable commodities. You don't want to waste time wishing and hoping for the opportunity to come. Sometimes you have to make it happen or try it out and see if it is even a good fit for you. Maybe you start your business and then you realize, I actually don't really want to be a business owner. I just want to be a designer. And then you start working for other people. But you won't know until you try, right? I think there's a lot of things in life that we maybe hold ourselves back from, and we might subconsciously be waiting for someone to give us permission. So let's not have that be the case for you anymore. Let's start today and get your new career going. Like I said, if you're someone who still needs to wait for someone to give you permission, here's your chance. I am now giving you permission to start your career. So I hope you found that encouraging, and maybe take some time to reflect on, do you actually wait for permission? Because it wasn't anything that I thought about myself until I was reflecting on it and looking back and said, oh, I actually wasn't moving forward. I actually didn't think I could get financing for my company because I was waiting for someone to tell me to do it and say, yes, you should do it. This is why. But I wasn't actively pursuing it. I needed to have my own back for those things. And so I don't want you to make the same mistakes. That's why we had this episode today. If you are enjoying these podcast episodes, let me know. I'd love to hear from you and bring some more content like this your way. That's all I have for you this week. Next week, we'll have another great episode. And until then, stay creative. Thanks for listening. If you love this episode, please leave a rating and a review. This helps me reach other curious creatives like you. If you have a topic request or would like to contact me, simply head over to my website, rwarddesign.com, or email me at podcast@rwarddesign.com.